Okay, we have finished the section 1 today. Do you have any problem in the section 1? You are given the exam also as a ISC 1. Okay, in the next lecture, that is tomorrow's lecture, I will post the MCQ test for the chapter number 3. I think we have finished a 2 chapter test. Am I correct? Someone please stop. Have you finished, whether we have finished a 2 chapter test or 3 chapter test? Let me check on my portal. You people will not, yeah, someone has given answer. Yeah, 2 have completed. So tomorrow we have lecture. For tomorrow's lecture, I will post a 1 chapter test. So you finish that. So one more we have to finish before the end of this chapter. Okay. So I'm going to start the new chapter. That is chapter number 5, section 2. So very small chapters are there and very large time is available with us. So still I'm trying to make you, so we will solve the question papers later on. So let me get over the syllabus, no worry, is it? So what is the syllabus for the chapter number 5? Definition of hazardous waste, characteristics and nature of hazardous, natural and man-made hazardous, and classification of hazardous waste. Okay, so this is the syllabus. You can copy that syllabus in your notebook. Please copy. What is the syllabus? Definition of hazardous waste. Few part or initial fundamental part we have discussed in the earlier chapters also, what is meant by hazardous waste, to what we can say hazardous waste, is it? So here also we are going to study in separately what is meant by the hazardous waste. Okay, I think you have copied the syllabus. So what is the hazardous waste? Simply we can define the hazardous waste is a waste with properties that make it dangerous or capable of having harmful effect on human health or the environment. What are those characteristics? Those characteristics we are going to study in detail in the next slide. So before that, I request you to write down the definition of hazardous waste as it is a waste with properties that make it hazardous, that make it dangerous, or capable of having harmful effect on human health. Capable of having harmful effect on human health or the total environment. Okay, write down please. What are those characteristics? According to these characteristics, we can say this is a hazardous waste. Let me explain you what are these characteristics. One second, guys. Okay, we will see. Let us see what are these characteristics from which we can say this waste is a hazardous waste. Mainly, there are four characteristics from which we can say these are the this waste is the hazardous waste. First, an important characteristic is the ignitability. Ignitability of that waste means simply most of the time LPG gas, it is a hazardous. It gets ignited with a small quantity, small amount of heat. Is it, or we can say it is a flammable type. So that is hazardous, that is dangerous. While handling such types of materials, we should be very careful. That is ignitability. Then second one characteristic is the corrosivity. In the corrosivity, when we can say corrosivity is the hazardous one, corrosivity or something that can rust or decompose. Iron. When iron we are keeping into open air, at that time it is getting corroded, and the corroded one is very hazardous to us. We used to say iron is required for the health. That is the different thing. But corroded one is very dangerous for us. Is it? So that to that, if it is, iron is corroded one, in that case, we can say it is a hazardous waste. To corroded one iron, we can say it is a hazardous waste. Then the reactivity. Sometimes some of the nuclear type of elements, nuclear atoms, we can say these are the reactive elements or the explosive. It gets exploded with a atmospheric condition also. Not the heat is not only the heat is required or such kind of environment is required. With the normal atmospheric condition also, it is getting react. That phosphorus, you might have studied that about the phosphorus properties during the school days. The phosphorus is getting reacted with the atmospheric oxygen, and there will be a fire, breaking of fire. And that's why we used to keep that phosphorus into the water. It should not get react with the atmospheric oxygen. Okay, so this way, if it is giving the reactivity as a reactive properties, in that case we can say it is a hazardous waste. Okay, then the fourth and important one property is the toxicity. To what we can say toxicity, that the some of the gases when we inhale, it starts erosion, so reactions or irritation in your body, or sometimes that sorry guys, I think there was a some network issue. Toxicity is one another characteristic means some poisonous gases, poisonous liquid, poisonous elements. When we are coming into contact with these materials, this is known as the toxicity. Okay, whenever there is these are the properties available in any kind of solid waste, then we can say this is a hazardous waste. Not necessary that waste is in the form of solid waste, solid form. It may be in the gaseous form, liquid form, or solid form. But this, especially when while we are handling the solid waste, which are having take care, because it's solid waste, we will be able to find out the properties, and we will be able to avoid these effects, is it? But it becomes difficult in respect of gaseous form. So that's why we have to take care in case of solid waste while handling. So what are the cares we are supposed to take? What are the cares the workers must take while handling the solid waste that we need to study over here in this chapter? So I request all of you to write down the characteristics of solid waste written over here. Okay, guys, you might have copied. Waste are classified as hazardous if they exhibit one or more of ignitability, corrosivity, reactivity, or toxicity. According to Resource Conservation and Recovery Act, hazardous waste are defined as any waste or combination of waste which pose a substantial present or potential hazard to human health or living organism because of such waste are non-degradable or persistent in nature, or uh, because they can be biologically magnified, or because they can be lethal, or because they may otherwise cause or tend to cause detrimental cumulative effects. A long-term effects may be observed when you are coming into contact with hazardous waste. So one example, one sentence was written here, uh, biological magnification. So this is very dangerous property which is being observed with respect to solid waste, or with respect to hazardous waste. Hazardous waste, we were talking about the, so I will, one more example I will give you, the lead particles are hazardous waste. In the pencil also we are using that lead particles. So these are lead particles, but when it is getting consumed by the human being, it will be deposited in your body for a longer period. It will not be getting over. So many of the times, such types of solid waste are the slow poisons, are acting as a slow poison. What is meant by slow poison? It will be remain in your body for a longer time, and once a threshold limit of your body is getting over, at that particular spot, you may get died. That is known as the slow poison. So that kind of slow poisonous material is there, and that is hazardous one. So how the biological magnification performs? When plants are absorbing the lead type of particles or the elements present into soil, that will be accumulated by the plant, and after some time, in that there will be magnification process, means multiple number of elements will form into the plant's body, And when that plant we are not using or consumed by the human beings, it will be deposited into the human body. And if it is not consumed by the human body and it is recirculated again into the soil, there will be again magnification process will start. Okay, so this is known as the biological magnification and increasing the amount of material, the hazardous material into the human body. Okay, so this is about the solid waste, hazardous waste. In detail, we are going to study this chapter. This is the introductory part. Actually, that is there is no much to study, but still I will take the more number of lectures on this topic. So here we will stop. So before that, before we are going to end up the lecture, I request everybody to draw this figure, and I will explain it. This figure. So draw this figure. I will take attendance screenshot. Draw this figure. Those who have over completed, they can leave. Those who have not finished, they have to complete it. Those who have finished the diagram, they can leave. Those who have not completed, they need to continue and then drop.